Well, our worst fears may have been realized with A.J. Brown officially being ruled out for the wildcard matchup. But why is Quez Watkins confident without him? Although at least we got an answer for A.J. going dark. Plus, Avonte Maddox got moved to safety, but what's Kevin Byard saying about it? As well as Jason Kelce's final message to the team. But first, let's run it. Hey guys, playoff football is here, and with the Chiefs playing in one of the coldest football games in history, plus Buffalo's home matchup versus the Steelers getting postponed to MLK Day, it got me thinking about some of the most memorable cold weather games in NFL history. Like how about the 1967 Ice Bowl between Green Bay and Dallas at 13 degrees and a wind chill of -48, where the Packers prevailed 21-17 thanks to a little QB sneak action late. Obviously, the hope is that it'll be go pack go this weekend, even though it won't be freezing cold in Dallas. But the Cheeseheads have played in quite a few of those sub-freezing temp games. For example, the 85 Snow Bowl versus the Tampa Bay Bucs, featuring 12 inches of snow before the game, followed by 5 inches of snow during the game, where the Pack blanked the Pirates 21-zip. Believe it or not, that was the lowest attended game in NFL history. Yet I'd say there's no way it could have been as bad as the 1981 Freezer Bowl with a -59-degree wind chill, where the Bengals beat the Chargers 27-7 and is historically the coldest measured game based on wind chill in NFL history, and not quite enjoyable, I'd say.
What do you figure the temperature is? 1.
Okay, but the best one in my mind's gotta be the Blizzard Bowl. And sure, maybe I'm a little biased, but who didn't love seeing shady LaShawn McCoy dominate back in 2013 to the tune of 217 yards, where the Birds beat the Lions 34-20? Also, curious if any of y'all were at that game because it looked like a blast. I should also mention that the back with the second most yards in an Eagles game since Shady's 217 is DeAndre Swift back in week 2 thanks to 175 yards on 29 carries. And honestly, wasn't that such an incredible time of the year when we trusted the running game? Because as I think most of us remember, Agent Zero followed up that performance by showing off his swiftiness with 130 yards against the Bucs in week 3. And it's not like we don't realize this, but that's really our only shot Monday night against the Bucs, especially after Nick Sirianni officially rolled out A.J. Brown.
It was going to be a stretch for A.J. to play. He did everything he possibly could to get himself ready. Obviously, y'all saw the reports. It's not looking like he's gonna go, but he fought like crazy to try to do everything he could do to do so, which doesn't surprise me at all about AJ. He's tough and he'd do anything for his teammates. Unfortunately, he won't be able to rip it this week.
Ideally, do you want one guy to kind of fill that spot, or will it be a rotation?
Yeah, no, y'all know what I'm going to say. It's going to be similar to when you asked me about Dallas or whoever else. It'll be different guys, and really excited about our guy. I mean, I think that's been a big time strength of one of our big strengths as a team is the pass catchers we have, right?
I mean, sure, the pass catchers in Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert are strengths. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Smitty goes off and has over 100 yards. But so help me, if Sirianni and BJ devise a game plan that doesn't feature the running game of DeAndre Swift and playoff Kenny, I'm going to be pissed.
Come on. Let's get nuts.
Sorry, seriously though, who's with me on that? Like, that's inexcusable, especially given the fact that ESPN and others have reported that Sirianni being fired is in play, depending on the outcome of Monday's game. And like Victor brought up, if Swift doesn't get 25 plus carries, just fire the entire coaching staff, Sirianni included. Yeah, no way you come back from that. Of course, on the optimistic side, I should point out that Jeremy Fowler reported despite AJ not being able to play Monday, he has a good shot to play next week should the Eagles advance and not a long-term issue with the knee. Which is great, and according to Quez Watkins, that ain't a big deal after all, since he said Jalen texted him with, "When that phone rings, be ready to answer." And then Quez responded by saying, "I've been ready. That's our mindset. He's got trust in me to go make plays, and I'm gonna go do that."
Can I trust you?
Come on, who actually believes anything Quez is saying? I mean, sorry to be so negative, but newsflash for you, Jalen Hurts is 0 for 6 with 2 INTs and 1 drop when targeting Quez Watkins 20 or more yards down the field in his last 381 days, which is a negative EPA per target on those plays, basically meaning he's just not good. Plus, it's astounding how little effort 16 gives on nearly every play. Granted, I'll give you that yes, he did show up late in the Giants game, but like, am I really wrong in that assessment? We're not actually trusting Quez, are we? Ultimately, I think AJ is really our only chance, because whether it's San Fran or Dallas next round, as tough as that may be, it's impossible without Swole Batman. However, if you're like Jason, perhaps AJ has played his final snap with the Birds. Nah, sorry, I ain't buying it. Although I can understand the panic that set in after number 11 deactivated his Twitter and then followed it up by deleting his Eagles and football content from Instagram, because deactivating Twitter and pulling a 0 dark 30 like LeBron was famous for in the playoffs is one thing, but deleting that content on Instagram at least feels kinda strange. However, NFL networks might go Garofalo reported that A.J. Brown deleting his account on X and stripping his Instagram wasn't anti-Eagles in any way, citing that Brown told Eagles personnel that he was just ready to get off social media and lock in, so wanted to let someone know. Obviously, I think it's natural to have some doubts about it considering AJ's tendency to get emotional at times, but I'm choosing to believe it's Eleven's way of blocking out the noise. Now, hopefully it turns out to be nothing because I love AJ, and like I've already said, that dude is your offense, or at least the catalyst for long-term success. Yet I'm interested to hear y'all's thoughts about AJ, and what's your final opinion of Sirianni headed into the wildcard matchup? Do you think he ends up getting fired? I mean, as much as I've said I think Sirianni's on the hot seat, I'm hopeful that wasn't his final practice. And I'm also hopeful that wasn't Reed Blankenship's final practice, who actually technically was a DNP. However, unlike AJ, Reed has a chance to play as he'll be a game-time decision after warming up on Monday night, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. And yeah, with that being said, naturally the next progression is, so who in the world's going to take over for him and play next to Kevin Byard? Well, why don't we let the former All-Pro answer that one?
Avonte, he's a veteran guy. He's been back there with me. But they're also going to work some other guys in there as well. I mean, at least during practice, but I think Avonte's going to be out there with me. But he's a vet. He's been in this league for a while. He's played safety as well, so that's a pretty easy transition. Obviously, Reed is a really good player, but I feel very confident with Avonte back there. We'll be able to spin things pretty good.
All right, I don't necessarily hate that alignment, especially considering the lack of depth that we have there. Plus, let's not forget that Avonte, as much as we may love him, has been really rusty coming off the injury and playing in the slot. Now, sure, maybe that makes it worse by moving into the safety role, but still, I say let's get Bradley Roby out there and move a vet to the safety role. Yet I also get it for those of you saying, what about Keely Ringo, or to a lesser extent, move Eli Ricks back there? But honestly, I'd rather keep them on the outside because they've played fairly well, plus I can't trust James Bradberry at all.
My heart says no.
Look, either way, it's not an ideal decision, although given the circumstances, it's really your best shot, and hopefully the squad can lean on the run game to keep the defense off the field as much as possible. Yet even if they are called upon, Maddox is at least familiar with the safety role.
Yeah, I've been working there at safety, and that's not like, it won't be like the first time, I've been at safety. I've been there a good amount of times throughout my career, so it's not like it's brand new. Plus I got KB back there as well, so he's definitely a huge help. Man, I still got Reed here, which is a huge help. And, just being able to get my reps in practice, so I can always be ready for the game, and even if it's within an individual or a team period. It's been good. Today was pretty fun. We made a lot of plays on defense. The energy's up. I'm just excited. It's playoff football. Everything turns up a notch. And, you get a chance to go out there and, be one of the, 12 teams to compete. And, everyone's watching, so you want to, give it your all and make sure you come out with a win.
Okay, this is the part where we say we've all heard these things before and they keep saying it, but they just really need to show us. However, is there any reason you guys are optimistic with Avonte? Ultimately, I think the hope's got to be in the pass rush. And hopefully we're not asking ourselves the same question Gilly DeKing was whenever he visited the locker room today. Well, the good news is that Zach Cunningham is back, and it's kind of crazy to be saying this, but the linebacker position might be what Howie Roseman needs to jolt the defense. Now, it's worth pointing out that Shaq Leonard expects a different energy and atmosphere with the vets in the locker room leading the way, and I sure hope so, because man, I don't want to see Kelce, BG, and possibly Fletch go out without going on a run. However, Sexy Batman talked about the final message to the guys ahead of the matchup.
I try to remind guys, and I've done this, my dad's told me this from the moment I started playing football. You step off the curb one day and that could be the end of your career. So you try and approach every game with that mindset. But obviously, the closer and the older you get to that being a realization, puts it out in front maybe a little bit more. But obviously, that's not the main thing. The main thing is, going out there and battling with each of the guys in this locker room. No matter how many more years I play or any of us play, this team right now only has one game left. And that's what we're really focused on.
Okay, Kelce's right, and hopefully the guys will play with that fire the next few days. Yet as much as I love it, can you actually buy into the Eagles' hype video?
Fans are frustrated. We're frustrated. The playoffs are here, and we're not where we want to be yet. This is when you're most tested as a team.
We begin storm now. The storm's gonna make us stronger.
We got pain in our hearts. Let that go.
We believe in every player in this locker. In our will, in our hearts to push through and do anything for this team and this city.
For this city, I'll do anything.
It's time for the playoffs. Now is when we come together. It's about who wants it most. And I know We f***ing want this.
I don't know, it won't shock me if we beat Tampa, and it should at least be somewhat like a home game, but I'll go ahead and throw out my other playoff predictions while we're at it. I'll take Kansas City to beat Miami, the Rams and Matthew Stafford to eke one out versus Detroit, and sure, I'd love to see the Packers beat Dallas, but I just don't think that's going to happen. Also, going to roll with Buffalo over the Steelers, and finally, I hate to do it, but maybe the Bucs beating us in a close one on Monday night. Come on, hopefully I jinx us in the right way since you guys know I've missed like the last 6 weeks, so maybe it works in our favor. Reminder that everything's still on for the Watch Party live stream Monday night, so you guys feel free to swing by, and as you know, we're gonna have a blast during the game. But all right, let's go ahead and hear it. Give me your final score predictions, and you know what? Let's do this. If you get it right, I'm gonna let you hop on during one of the upcoming live streams, or we'll do a drawing if there are multiple winners. This has been the Philly Special.